You see that? Experts say technology to sniff out plagiarism could have unintended effects, upend careers. Oh boy. Tribune Review. Oh, look at what you do. Drop your cigarette there, my friend. What you do, huh? Oh gosh, my friend, good morning. I was just down at the store. Just wanted to say hello. Still kicking, still got some inertia, loss of inertia taking place. With an external magnetic field always connected. It's like a conjoined twin. And the primary problem is, I hear, is the United Nations. Listen to the bird. It's an amplitudinal signal. Now let me show you guys what's going on here. Take a look here. All right, if you go way back here, you can see we have guitar strings set up. And then this one turns into like a wishbone. And this one here so blatantly had the curve linear into it here. And it's still going. My friend, good morning, how are you? Well, let's take a look what's going on here. You see how at this wishbone it gets wider and wider and wider? About right here, I guess you'd say, when you connect this to this and you supply a current going this way, you're gonna get a nanometer shift. Hence why you see that stuff curving linear. And then what's it do? It has like a pole shift here. It reverses its field. And then you go over here. Okay, the way this one works, you see right where that don't hit me, honey. Damn. If you go to this one, start going, it jumps. And it goes to this one and jumps. And then once it hits right where that bandwidth is right there, okay, where you see this stuff curving linear, that's a frequency modulation change. It's a nanometer change. It's coming right through there. How it works, I'll never know. It's just field theory, we'll call it. Field theory. And here's a good one. Here's a good one now. We're starting to do computing, serverless computing. And this is all in the cloud. Okay, everyone starts laughing. Oh, it's in the clouds. The clouds are computers. And they laugh at this. Just like, oh, what's a good example? What is a good example to laugh about? Oh, you got your tinfoil hat on today, sir. We got frequencies going all over the place. And let's not forget, guys. They want to try to contain shit and keep it in the circuit to stop jumping, microphonics, whatever. Electromagnetic interference for short. It happens in all different types of ear gapping ways. Electromagnetic interference. Now, as I look up here, I got tension wires here. This is on a third grid. This is a commercial grid, the Robert Morris grid. And look what runs here, cable wires and phone lines. But this shit, this field, after recess is over today, by the way, this stuff that they're spraying, this stuff that is exiting, being dispersed, being extrapolated on, it's going up here into the tension wires. It comes down in a rain. And you guys want to contain. You want to contain and stop the, just keep it all on a circuit. Keep all electric on a circuit. You haven't been able to do that since you put these wires up. These wires connect the fucking metal and they'll make your fence turn into an electric fence at your house. Matter of fact, you could throw stuff up there. You could literally throw a freaking wire up there and pull the fucking current down. The magnetic and dielectric fields. Because that's what it is. and it'll go right to it. And then you can just start powering your house. They do it in India. Go ahead, tell me they don't. Tell me they just throw shit right over the wires. Get free power. They're stealing power. So now I got to deal with the shit coming from that. Whatever you want to call it. Down here to this. And then whenever it gets on top of these wires, it's forming nanos, it's forming coils. And then it gets into cable wires. You want to know how, you think you want to know how your shit's getting hacked. You get a worm on a tension wire, and start sending pulses down to that data line where there's a big worm. It'll go right in. I don't care how much fucking cladding you got on there. There's decibel levels in there. 0.025 decibels is propagating through those fucking lines. That's an amplitudinal acoustic pressure. That is a laser beam. And it's 1,310 nanometers opposed to the sun's right now. Oh, well, it's kind of white over there. It looks a little orange. So maybe we're at about 700 nanometers coming from the sun. And then look at this. This is the best one. This is the best one. Because there's a nanometer switch coming off there, which is a greenish light blue. It's in a harmonic. It's like when you take fluorescent lighting. How does fluorescent lighting work? With this extreme ultraviolet. How does it work? Extreme ultraviolet. And ultraviolet's everywhere. All this shit works off of ultraviolet. Internet of Things. Cloud computing. So now we got people trying to literally sabotage other human beings now using these electronics. It's electronic cyber weapons. Electronic cyber weapons. And they're trying to use them on the human body, which works very well, doesn't it? We've been knowing that for a long time. You know, I went to this guy's webpage years and years ago, and he was talking about 9/11. He said that he come up with this like the detective work. Oh, it was all these people, da-da-da-da. Then he said it was thermite. Then he said it was thermite that brought the buildings down. This woman, Dr. Judy Wood, is a nutcase. She's nuts. Now, as I've been learning, these computers are being taught to lie. This is almost like Nano Diamond here. I don't know if the phone picks it up or not. But there's just it's like the ground sparkles for me. But this woman, she's nuts. She needs a tinfoil hat on her head. She's talking about controlling the weather. There was a hurricane on the way in, brought a low pressure, and then started pulling it out. Push-pull system, right? Feel this! Push-pull. Push-pull system here. And then all of a sudden, this building's had a plane fly through it. One of the planes went right through the building. A whole nose cone never dented. Seen that one on TV. And then it was thermite. It was thermite. Okay, so we have thermite. That's what they said. Now we have field theory about cloud computing. Now we have theories about, artificial intelligent cultural wars. Social engineering 101! Social engineering is a form of electricity. It is a field theory, social engineering. And there's no laws against social engineering, is there? What about violence? What about using a social engineering tool for violence? Oh, if you look at Forbes magazine, Mark Zuckerberg's on it. Getting hit in the face doesn't hurt that bad. Yeah, this is Mark Zuckerberg. And then you read the quotes about, these bits, not as much of a bit, blah, blah, blah. And how he's trying to pack in a supercomputer into a pair of sunglasses. Look at this shit. Well, what happened? Your tailpipe get fucking bent. Your tailpipe get bent there, my friend. I really don't give a shit. But when people start pulling these frequencies out of the magnetic field that you're spraying up here, that Mr. David Keith from Harvard so religiously used to say, we're using nano. And what is nano, field theorists? What is nano? Oh, you can't say it don't exist. It's not like it was thermite on a building or nothing, huh? Can't say that. That's thermite. That's nano thermite. Look out. Look out. Now, here's the other one. Let me show you what Einstein did. So I move over here, the light starts showing. Now we have a gravitational force with light. And as you start to bend that light, you get another fucking signal. As you start to bend that light, you produce another signal. One of these, it's like a guitar string just flapping back and forth. And it just flaps. It'll pull the gravitational field in, the magnetic field, and just vibrate it and blah, blah, blah. Look at this. This is great. But social engineering. Matter of fact, they're using the sun. Because the sun, there's an eclipse coming again this year. To prove Einstein's theory. But it all needs rewritten now. Everything he did. Because now we have the ability to control the flows of electric and literally overlap signal. Overlap the Earth's magnetic fucking field. Super secret space program. Super secret service. Which the secret service does have to know how to control the weather to protect critical infrastructure domestically and when it goes abroad. Because you know you're going to get your asses handed to you when you go to another country, huh? And now this is the primary problem, the United Nations. You could all manufacture weapons as much as you want. But now when we start using weather as warfare, not happening. Because you will fucking create lightning bolts and you will fucking hurt people. Go ahead. What's lightning? What is lightning? It's nuclear radiation, ain't it? It's literally nuclear fucking fusion. And we have more tools than I know what to do with that people have been propagating on the fucking ether for a while now. And I'm not the only one that knows this shit. There's a lot of people who fucking diligently fucking deteriorated. There's a lot of people who have a connected conjoined twin on them that works like a fucking tractor beam. This dielectric fucking pressure just gets on top of you. It's like you put your clothes in a dryer. Nice warm clothes. It contracts them in. You put them on, it hugs your skin real nice and tight, huh? Your galvanic resistance. It loves it. And the nano, I hear nano just, what's the nano do? It goes right through the skin. Goes right through the first couple layers of skin and could be fucking impulse like a remote control. Dolby sound! Dolby Pro Logic! You fucking assholes! Oh, go ahead, look up Dolby. Dolby sound, what they're doing with it today. The spatial and counter-spatial measures they're fucking using. Oh, spatial audio. Now we're bouncing shit off the fucking floor to the ceiling to fucking redirect the energy at you. And you can do this with nano. You don't even need a Dolby system. Field theories, I walk this way. Oh, I walk down this way. Let's walk another way. Oh, Dolby Pro Logic. Dolby. There's a lot of people dying, I hear. Excess deaths. Pathologists, where are you at? Scandalizing. There was new cells discovered in the lungs right around the time I told these people, every time I smoke weed, it feels like I'm gonna die. No, that's a true story for me. It happened about 2 years ago. I was talking about if a UFO comes down into the trailer parks of America, comes down to a Section 8 projects in America, what do these people do with it? What do they do with it? Just to make you think of the problems we gotta deal with. Now, if it goes Uncle Rothschild, Uncle Rockefeller, I bet you they know what to do with it. Just fucking chip your asses so they know what the fuck you're doing. And learn everything about you and proceed to the margins of business. But it's getting to this point now where there's only so much shit you can sell someone now. Only so much, and how much of this shit's hitting them? And they're here and they want answers. And you still won't fucking come get me in person. You'll just sit here. Oh, let's talk about this one. Since we can make speakers out of thin air, okay, use Dolby Pro Logic, Dolby Surround Sound, Dolby Spatial Audio. All you audio guys in the news business, how you liking life right now? And you can say I did it. You can't do a fucking thing! Because there's no law. But since we can make speakers out of thin air, what do you think you can do with a camera? And now you're being followed with a camera. And it could be right behind you. Or your eyes can, whatever your eyes see goes to a direct feed now. Okay, field theorists, how's that one work? Because your eyes are a camera. Now the nano's in there recording all these little light pulses, all these little attoseconds that we're going to win world peace with. All these laser pulses. These laser pulses at a decibel level going through the cladding, going through the copper. It's not fiber optic. There is no fiber optic. The only fiber optics there are is your node into your house, your optical terminal network. That's the only fiber optics you got. There's no fiber optics in these fucking lines. It's all copper. And last time I checked, copper is a sort of like a mirror. It'll take electric and reflect it. And then you can control this like a what do they call that again? It's not a toggle switch. It's a shit. It's when you lift the lever. It's not toggling. It's there's a specific name for it. But you put a now you put a camera. Use Nano for cameras, and then they could put cameras anywhere in your eyes, your chest, your throat. You'll feel it pulsing. Here, let me explain how this works. Field theorists. See these teeth? You think that hurts? You guys ever get a toothache? What happens when you get a toothache? It's just... Where's that come from, field theorists? Come on, femtoampers. Let's go, Harvard. Let's go, Berkeley. University of Berkeley. I know you hear me. MIT. Who else? Yale? Poisonings on Yale over the weekend? It was me. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? I thought of it and it happened. So the fuck what? What are you going to do? Just like anybody else out there that's thinking about hurting people. What are you going to do to them? What are you going to do to them whenever they fucking shoot the president and make him stop thinking while he's giving a speech? And when are these guys going to talk about this? That's the other question. But anyways, back to the toothache. You get a toothache. You get that pulse. But take a fucking hammer and hit your finger. Put your hand on a table and hit your finger with a fucking hammer. What happens? And now we have these triboelectrics, nano generators that form pumps. Literally like a fucking pump for your water fine. And it just pump, like a pole pump. Pump. Now it can pump fucking air into you. They can stop your blood. They can clot your blood. You can do all kinds of fun stuff with this stuff, can't you? But you get that toothache, and it just starts pulsing. Like it almost feels like it's goddamn fucking a spherical thing stuck in your mouth. And then your voice box, you'll get it here. And then that starts pulsing, and they can push and pull the inductance off of your voice box since it's an inductor. And use that to run up into your brain and literally digest a TV fucking frequency into your head. So how do you think that works? And then they have dream software. So just think on that. You get a toothache, what's happening? That's an electric current. And in that magnetic field, this nanomagnetic field, will encapsulate that. It'll record it and harmonize it. And take every sound of that and try to use it for harm. Not good. Like some people, they only get good fields, huh? Until someone finds out who the fuck you are, and they take that your entire G code. They call it G code because it's like a 3D fucking printer. It's almost like a 3D printer, and then they take all your amperage from your brain, every little fucking impulse that you got, and they use that against you, and then they'll feed impulses in from your head to really fucking interfere with your system. The war's already been started. I don't know what you're talking about. They've been over in Ukraine for 2 fucking years using Northrop Grumman and fucking Lockheed Martin fucking ammunitions with NATO fucking packed into it. Fuck. Hey, Putin. At least Putin gave us the answer. He made his own vaccines. He didn't take any of the Pfizer, any of the Modernas. He said, nope, I'm making my own. Kudos. He told us it's the birds. So if a human, you could do this to a human. What do you think you do with a bird, a deer, a dog, a cat? Anything with a brain. Anything that's organic. Fuck, you could control the trees now, for Christ's sakes. You could literally have the trees lift up and down with this shit. And form to a fucking specific frequency. And then you can cancel out this so-called thing that Einstein loved to talk about was time. You could go ahead, go look into electromagnetics and look up time frequency. How it cancels out time. And it overlaps and you can't feel it. It's not that you can't feel it. There's subtle differences. Very little subtle differences that happen in your life. You won't even notice it. Some people don't notice it. You could almost equate it to like, oh, this is like a deja vu moment. I had a dream about this. I remember this. Somebody's pretty far into the future with this predictive programming for artificial intelligence is starting a cultural war on universities. And everything that was written, it's going to stop plagiarism. Kudos. Because if you do not source where you got your information from, it's going to know. Because it could do the whole electric grid. This is another grid here, by the way, and I totally forgot to show you where these lines do not break circuit. Whenever I cross from Robert Morris into that neighborhood on that street, if you look above me, it does not break circuit. That's cable and phone. It does not break circuit because it's an emergency broadcast system. And then, for all you guys who like to say thermite, look at this. This is the last clue you're going to get. You see this little fucking string? Do you see how it's forming its unique pattern and it stops here? There's nothing in there. And this is a ground wire. What is that for, thermite enthusiasts? Now, for whatever reason, you guys got to tell a lie to get this shit to go the other way. This electric field to go the other way because, well, as a field theorist in social engineering, there's a lot of people out here that don't even know who the fuck Edward Snowden is. And then you try to tell them your electric's being sold to the metaverse. They're buying plots of land on metaverse for millions of dollars. Who the fuck's gonna buy virtual reality land for millions of dollars? Oh, so now you equate, say, like Google Maps and like Pokemon Go with Google Maps. Now that's what the metaverse wanted to try to do. Now they're human trafficking. This is human trafficking because you could buy this whole plot of wires here. You buy these wires, and that's all you get. You only get a half hour. And somebody else is up here running the whole fucking grid, and they will kick your ass the fuck out. You get a half hour to work with me. And I don't know what you guys are paying to work with me. I don't know what you're 3D printing out of my body. But it all gets recorded. It all goes into a database, and someone's always going to know about it. Always. And you only get a half an hour, and then they fuck you over. Oh, we're telling on you, and then you got to do ransomware. It's social engineering. Social engineering. There's no laws. If you are that, that's why the CIA takes people like that. That's why the KG. Okay, let's just stop. The most intelligent people on the goddamn planet. We have little groups for you. We come get your ass. It doesn't matter how bad if you're that big of a criminal. Well, we want to know why it worked, and we'll hire your ass too. And this is social engineering, because all you had to do is say some words and make people move, like they're at church. Like they were at church, right? Okay, you listen to this guy preaching about Jesus, and you feel this feeling, and all of a sudden you just take your wallet out in your purse and dump it in a fucking bowl to the guy. He didn't tell you to, but you did it. That's Social Engineering 101 by the 104th Observatory Division. It's just when you could monitor my entire neighborhood, artificial intelligence, you can monitor the whole thing. Let's not forget about the gas lines too. When you can monitor the whole fucking thing in real time, all electric flow. What do you see at my house? What's coming in and what's coming out? What's coming? Because now we have the ability to take electric from your neighbor's house, their access wires, their circuit breaker, and run it over. And now we have the ability to take the electric that we're stealing, recreate it out here in the environment, and put it back in and make it look like nothing happened. Don't we? Solar panels explain that one perfect.